Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the 23-24 Premier League home shirts. Now luckily for my own sanity, all the teams have released their Premier League shirts with about 3 weeks to go before the season starts, which means I've got plenty of time to get this video out, as well as an away shirts and maybe even a third shirt video if there are enough shirts for that. And I've ranked them from worst all the way down to best, although it'll look different on the graphic I use in this video. Just like I did last season, this was last season's rankings, so let's just jump into it. And in 20th place, I've got Liverpool. And Liverpool are at it once again with another very boring shirt. But it's a bit better than last season, so at least there's that. This shirt is inspired by the 1973-74 shirt. It was the final season under Bill Shankly, and they also won the FA Cup, so not bad season. All in all though, it is quite the boring shirt in my opinion, and I couldn't really put it any higher than bottom. It's essentially last season's shirt but with a bit of white on it. Stunning creativity from Nike, man. They really put their all into that shirt, didn't they? Jesus. Now the primary images were cool with the players wearing 70s themed clothing. As a football shirt, it's quite bland and not really for me. And then in 19th place, I've put Nottingham Forest. My beloved Nottingham Forest. They've reunited with Adidas and it's boring. Just look at it. It honestly looks like no effort has been put into this shirt. It's genuinely just a template with a Forest badge slapped on it. Like, they've put no effort into this shirt whatsoever. It's very reminiscent of the historic European Cup winning shirts of 79 and 80, but that doesn't save it from being very plain and very boring. Just disappointing really. I mean, personally I wasn't a fan of the Adidas rumours swirling around last season. I knew they wouldn't put any effort into our shirt, and unfortunately I was correct. I'd have much preferred to have gone with Umbro if we had to switch suppliers, as they've been producing amazing shirts this season. Unfortunately that was not to be, and we are now saddled with a manufacturer that doesn't really care about us, to be honest. It's quite sad to see, especially having some nice bespoke kits in the past. Yeah, not great. And then in 18th place, I've got Tottenham Hotspur. It's another disappointing Spurs shirt. What a shock. Now, granted, they have done more here than they did last season, but even then, it still doesn't look great. The design is inspired by the sounds of N17 and the nation's broadcasting history, as well as the vibrant music scene and streetwear of the Tottenham Borough. I've never been to the Tottenham Borough, so I cannot confirm nor deny this, but I imagine there's probably a better way you could have represented that than this, which is essentially a white shirt with a little bit of something on it. And AIA in red. What are you playing at? Surely they can change the colour to suit the shirt. You know, they could change to purple. There doesn't seem to be much thought behind the design, as it just looks slapped on there haphazardly. Now, admittedly, I am a fan of the little designs they put around the shirt, but I think the placement is just random. Like, there's no thought behind where they've placed whatever elements they've placed anywhere. So it's just not great in my opinion. It doesn't create a nice cohesive shirt. It just looks a bit messy, while also still looking very boring, if you can fathom that. And then move on to 17th place, and I've got Aston Villa. I don't like this. I've given it some time, but it has not grown on me. I mean, if anything, it's just gone down in my opinions. Let's talk about the elephant in the room though. That horrid BK8 sponsor. I mean, Kazoo wasn't great, let's be honest, but this is somehow worse, and it doesn't help that it's a betting sponsor. The main design is a pattern of sound waves representing the sound of fans chanting "Alloo, alloo, alloo." And while that's a nice idea, it wasn't executed greatly. Oh, and the new crest isn't great either. Honestly, looks like a Burnley shirt, to be honest. And they're gracing Europe with this kit. I'd be embarrassed if I was a Villa fan. But hey, we were in Europe, so maybe that's enough. But yeah, it's not a great looking shirt, I can't lie. And then we move on to West Ham United, and they've released a Villa shirt, besides, you know, the bubble design. But other than that, this could be a Villa shirt, and I'd be none the wiser. The idea behind the shirt is nice, paying homage to the song that's become intertwined with West Ham, their anthem, I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. Now, I love when a shirt design represents something synonymous with the club, something that the fans love, something that the fans can all rally around. And a song like I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles is a very good example of that. But the execution could have been, and probably should have been, so much better. It's a nice idea, but definitely could have been done in a lot better way. Definitely could have been done better. It's a nice thought, don't get me wrong. It's a very nice thought, but it wasn't executed great. Let's just put it that way. And then in 15th place, I've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. And to be honest, Wolves have not had a good shirt for some time now. And this one, unfortunately, continues that streak. It's better than some of their previous ones, to be honest, but it's still not amazing. Like, It's a mainly orange design, which shock, a Wolves kit is orange, but features some very subtle pinstripes. It's got a nice black and white collar and cuffs, which elevates the design slightly, but the shirt is still quite plain, with the pinstripes not really showing up all that well. It is better from Wolves though. It's a step in the right direction in terms of their kits, in my opinion. It's one of their best ones they've had in recent years, definitely the best from Castore, I think, so they've got that going for them at least. And then in 14th place, I've got Brentford, and I can't lie, this is not a great shirt from Brentford. The shirt's design incorporates the club's bee sting graphic, whatever that means, with a red to black gradient as well. It also features Brentford's bee on the back, which is a lovely touch, but they have done that in the majority of their shirts. However, that doesn't take away from me. I'm a big fan of those sort of design elements on the back of kits. I mean, if you've seen my custom kits video, you'll know how much I like incorporating that sort of design onto a shirt, and I wish more clubs did it, to be honest. There's a heavy use of black in this kit, which makes it look a lot bolder, and while black is a colour that Brentford use regularly, I think it has been overused on this shirt. I think there's too much black elements on this shirt compared to previous seasons. Now, I know it's part of their colour scheme, and I completely understand that, but I think they've gone a bit too heavy on it this season. And in 13th place, I've got Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, Brighton have had some decent kits for a while now, but this one is a bit of a letdown in my opinion. It's a very classic design, just having blue and white stripes, moving away from the yellow that has graced some of their recent kits. But personally, I was a fan of the yellow, and it's a shame to see that it's been removed from the kits. They could have used in a very light accent role, you know, cut down from the amount it was used on last season's kit, but just have it like, you know, adorning the Nike tick or the like down the sides like they did on the 21-22 kit, I believe. I think it was a very nice use of yellow on that shirt. It was a very just subtle, used in very light accents, and unfortunately it's been removed from this kit. It's not a terrible shirt, don't get me wrong, but it's just not one for me. I think it's one of the weakest Nike shirts for Brighton. And then in 12th place, I've got Newcastle United. I think Newcastle have been nice by Castore here. It's definitely their best effort so far, but that's been helped by the removal of Fun 88. Seller have coloured their logo in black and white, which helps tie the whole shirt together, and far better than Fun 88 ever did. This shirt is inspired by the 1983-86 home kits, home kit, which is a very nice shirt to be honest, and it also features a classic looking V-shaped collar, which is very reminiscent of the 80s shirt that also had a very pointy V collar as well. It's a very good modernisation of that old 80s kit. It's a very clean shirt for their return to the Champions League. Very decent job from Castore, but we've got to consider those manufacturing errors that always seem to pop up every season from Castore. I think Newcastle are probably their favourite side. If I'm gonna go on a limb here, they're probably the richest club they manufacture for, so I'm gonna assume they're gonna put in the most effort they can to make sure these Newcastle kits look brilliant. And to be honest, this is a very classy shirt for Newcastle, reminiscent of the 80s, lovely kit. Sponsor does make it look a bit better. If this was Funny 88, it would be dreadful, so they got that right. And yeah, it's a nice shirt for the Champions League. And then in 11th place, I've got Fulham. What were Fulham cooking with this one? One thing I really love about this shirt is the alternating colours of the Adidas stripes on either sleeve. It's a very interesting take on the half and half design. Now I know a lot of fans are not a fan of this. I was reading the comments when the shirt was first revealed, and like some fans were liking it and others they did not like it. But personally, as someone who doesn't support Fulham, I like it. The shirt also features a very subtle pinstripe design and a buttoned collar as well, which just adds to the overall design of the shirt. The Spode Top sponsor isn't great, but at least it's in black and white, so it matches there. It's a very clean shirt from Adidas. Now, there's not a whole lot going on, the subtle pinstripes do add to the design and make it a lot better than just some plain shirt like the other ones I've rated. So yeah, very good from Fulham, very classy, I like it. And then in 10th place, I've got Sheffield United. Now, this is the first of the newly promoted teams to feature on this list, and it's the team from Sheffield. The shirt is red with two thick white stripes which pay homage to the city's steel heritage, and also the 97-99 Lee Cox Watif home shirts, which is a very nice kit to be fair. Area did a good job on modernising that design, and the black and white collar, whilst interesting, is a very nice design touch, although I think if they went the more retro collar, it would have looked a lot better. It's a nice shirt, but when we compare it to their promotion celebration shirt, that was far better would have served much better as the home kit for this coming season. But you know what? It is what it is. It's an okay shirt. Not much to write home about, but it's very clean, very classy. I'm sure Sheffield United will look good when they get relegated in this. And then in 9th place, I've got Arsenal. The Gunners had one of the best home kits last season, but this shirt feels like a downgrade in comparison. I know Arsenal have used gold in their previous shirt designs and is part of their colour scheme, but I feel that privilege should be reserved for title winners. It does look a bit strange when you finished second. Now, I'm a fan of the Zap design that graces the body of the kit, but I think the overuse of gold. There's quite a lot of gold elements on this kit, and personally that ruins it for me. I think if some of those elements were red or just the normal colours they should be on an Arsenal shirt, like the badge had its like blue elements and whatever, I think that'd look a lot better. Although it does have a very lovely touch, which is that subtle print on the inside of the white stripe, which features the match results from the 2003-2004 Invincible season, which is class. I do like that. Although the first run of shirts were produced with the incorrect results, I believe, so I don't know how they managed to mess that up, but I've heard they fixed it now, and it's a very nice design touch. Like, don't get me wrong, that is lovely from Adidas, but it doesn't save the shirt though. I'm really not a fan of this. I don't know why I don't like it, I just don't. Maybe it's the gold, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not great from Arsenal. And then in 8th place, and one which I think is a very rogue shout, is Chelsea. Now, it's a very interesting take from Chelsea here. It is a largely plain blue kit, but it has some white and gold elements adding homage to the club's successful 97-98 campaign. It's currently sponsorless, which is doing the shirts no favours, and a sponsor really could elevate or sink this shirt depending on who they go with. But the main feature of the kit though is the iridescent night tick and Chelsea logo, which I do quite like. Now, I've seen people complaining that you shouldn't touch the logo on a home kit, but I actually think the iridescent logo looks very nice. Now, I'm not a Chelsea fan, so maybe if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd have a very different opinion on this shirt, but I quite like it. Now, I know it's largely plain, and I've normally put plain shirts quite low down on my rankings, but something about this shirt I just love. The campaign for this shirt was It's a 90s thing, and despite the inspiration being that 97-98 season, no part of this kit is 90s themed. I think they were clutching at straws with that campaign. But there's just something I like about this shirt despite being a largely plain kit. I'm not sure what it is, but something just activates those neurons inside my brain. So I don't know what you've done, Chelsea, but you've done something and it looks pretty good. And then in 7th place, we've got Bournemouth. Now, it's a return to the classic stripes of Bournemouth, but with the addition of some flanking pinstripes, either side of the thick stripes. Or it could be red pinstripes in the thick black stripes. The jury's still out on that one. Whichever it is, it gives a more classic feel than if it was just basic stripes, which I do like. Now, last season, Bournemouth's home shirt was quite out there, and initially I didn't like it, but it has since grown on me. I don't think this kit is better than that one. I thought the zigzag sort of design elements they chose to implement on that kit was very bold, but in the end it grew on me. So the return to stripes, I see it as a bit of a downgrade, but they've kept the cuffs thick as well as the collar in blocks of black as they did on the last season's shirt. I didn't like it then, but on this shirt it works a lot better as it ties in with the thick stripes of the kit. Very solid effort from Umbro. They did a pretty good job with this shirt, I won't lie. Right, we're into the top 6 now, the big 6 of this season's Premier League shirts. And in 6th place, I've got Manchester City. City have dropped a stinker here. Well, relative to last season's shirt, it's not that bad, but I preferred last season's shirt a lot more. It takes a striped design for the base, but implements a graphic design that's inspired by the Etihad Stadium. These bits apparently. I don't really see it, but that's what they're saying it is, so we're just going to have to take their word for it. The design is also a nod to the 03-04 shirt, which was also the first kit to be worn at the Etihad. Very interesting. Other than that though, it doesn't look great, and whilst I didn't like the maroon colour from last season's kit, they've removed it, and now I want it back. However strange that may seem, I just think last season's shirt was one of City's best shirts in recent times, and would have been a very tough act to follow anyway. So, you know, they tried something. Personally, not for me, but again, I'm not the target audience. I'm not a City fan, so. But I think just last season's shirt with the centralized logo, my God, I love a centralized logo. So they were going to move it, and it was going to be disappointing for me. Decent shirt all in all, but just not as good as the last season's in my opinion. And in 5th place, we've got the champions of the championship. Yes, I'm talking Burnley, and it's this lovely Umbro number, which remarkably looks like a West Ham kit. Villa have got a Burnley kit, West Ham have a Villa shirt, and Burnley have a West Ham kit. What's going on this season? The kit pays homage to the 1994 home shirt, which saw them promoted to the 2nd tier of English football, and it keeps that classic silhouette with that wonderful, wonderful collar. It's just a shame they didn't incorporate the collar design from the 94 shirt into this one. I mentioned it in my favourite Prem shirts video. It was lovely, and it was silly to get rid of it for this kit, but I guess it's not their manufacturer logo, so, you know, but they could have just done a triangle design, so what do I know. The shirt also features a sublimated diamond design, which gives it extra points from me. Love a little sublimated design in there. It gives me retro vibes. You don't really see it nowadays, unfortunately, but Umbro are doing it, and I like that. The W88 sponsor isn't great, but it does somewhat match the colours of the rest of the shirt, so it kind of works, but it's not that great. It wasn't great on Fulham last season. It's not great on Burnley here. Also, not sure why they didn't use their new badge. Like, they've released a new claret badge and then just decided not to use it for this home shirt, which I think is quite strange. I guess the colours wouldn't have worked, which is actually makes sense. So maybe we'll see it on the away shirt or the third shirt, who knows. And then we move into the Champions League spots, and our first team is Crystal Palace. The Eagles were cooking with this half and half shirt, I'm not going to lie. It celebrates the 10th anniversary of the club's promotion to the Premier League in the 2013-14 season, and much like that shirt, it's a red and blue half and half number. My favourite feature of the shirt though is that main graphic element that just encompasses the front of the shirt, and it's a design of the famous Crystal Palace structure, which is the club's namesake and where the club's story began. I'm a huge fan of this design. I know they've had a very similar design in a few of their past kits, but I'm just a big fan of it. I think it looks lovely, and I think it looks wonderful on this shirt. There is a white stripe down the centre of the shirt, which I'm not really a fan of, but it doesn't really detract from the overall shirt. I'm a fan of this Palace shirt. I wish the Macron logos on the sleeves were alternating colours. I think that just added a little more to the kit, but other than that, it's a very nice shirt from Crystal Palace. And a lot of people were slating it when it came out, but I just liked it for some reason. I'm not sure what it was, but I thought it was nice. And then in third place, it's the final newly promoted team, the fairy tale club, Luton Town. Luton have finally returned to the top flight, and they did so with this retro banger. It's a modernised version of the 1974-75 home shirt, back when they played in the top flight, and it looks brilliant. It features the same sublimated diamond design from the Burnley kit, but I'll let that slide, as it is a nice pattern to be fair. I always love it when shirts have one of those sort of designs incorporated into them. So Umbro, you smashed it this season, you really did. The kit features a unique white stripe that fades out on one side while flanked by a navy stripe on the other. I thought it was a nice design I developed, and they've gone for a very similar design here, and I must say, I like it. The collar isn't brilliant, but it doesn't detract from the overall shirt design. I'm a big fan of this Luton kit. They've done well. It looks nice. I must say, it does look very nice, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do for their away shirt, maybe a third shirt as well. I think Luton, they're going to cook. Maybe not in the league, but shirts they might. Very solid def from Luton. Big fan. And then in second place, I've got Everton. On the complete other end of their spectrum to the Merseyside rivals, Everton have been graced with a banger from Hummel. Now, while the overall design is very plain, the design on the collar and the cuffs is brilliant, just and elevates the shirt very highly. The collar pattern is based on Archibald Liech's architecture, and the work is done on Goodison Park. Looks class, to be fair. The stake sponsor isn't brilliant, still looks bad, and does bring down the overall shirt design. But as I said, the collar is doing some major heavy lifting on this shirt. It just looks lovely. I'm a huge fan of it. I know it's a very plain shirt other than that, and if you remove those elements, it'd be down at the bottom with Liverpool. But it's just the collar and the cuffs, man. Oh my god, I just love it. I love it so much. And finally, number one, the best home shirt of the 23-24 season is Manchester United. Manchester United have been blessed with back-to-back bangers. To be honest, I'm in two minds about this shirt. On one hand, love the kit design. The design on the shirt is brilliant. But on the other hand, it's Manchester United, which isn't that great. But putting them aside, this kit features a repeating pattern that combines a Lancashire rose with the geometric pattern inspired by the Trafford Road Bridge. Very cool. As soon as I laid my eyes on that in the leaks, I was like, yep, beautiful kit. 10 out of 10. And when it officially released, 10 out of 10. I've seen it a few times in person as well. Looks lovely. The team viewer sponsor isn't great and does detract from the shirt's design, but that pattern is brilliant and elevates it head and shoulders above the rest of this season's home shirts. Another bang from Adidas and United, and I just wish Adidas put this amount of effort in for a Forest shirt, because it could go so hard. But unfortunately not. Maybe next season, eh? But yeah, that's been my ranking of the 23-24 home shirts of the Premier League. Manchester United won it again. Just a brilliant shirt. What can I say? Adidas love them. Clearly. Someone at Adidas must be a Man United fan. Lovely shirts this season. Some not so great shirts as well. But I think overall, it's been a very good season for shirts. Most of them are very decent, which is why I was saying like 14th place, 13th place kits were quite nice, because it's been very solid this season. But there were some big stinkers. And I think in the away shirts, you're going to see some dreadful kits. But if you would like to see that video, then show this one some love, like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and yeah, I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.